Yes.
Welcome home, brother.
Welcome home.
Hey, welcome
The
home.
Don is back.
Yo, face. Show your face, please. With sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines, but we'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now time after time I tell y'all that these rappers aren't normal when it comes to them being punished by the law, and maybe it's the money or maybe it's something else. Who knows? All I know is that you and I can't beat these type of charges that these rappers end up beating or getting the type of time they get, given the level of severity involved in their case. Now for y'all that don't know what I'm referring to, Atlanta rapper YFN Lucci has been incarcerated since January of 2021 in connection to an M case along with a RICO, when law enforcement believes that he was the one driving during a drive-by committed by him and his affiliates. It's said that YFN Lucci and two others got word of their ops being in a certain location, and they figured they'll pull up and try to catch one of them lacking. However, things would backfire on them, and when a 28-year-old man by the name of James Adams, who was in the car during the drive-by, was shot in his head, it's said that after Adams was shot, he was pushed out of the moving vehicle, which happened to be a $200,000 2021 Maybach SUV that was gifted to the rapper from his label boss, Gervin Fly Henry. Now, why Lucci would decide to partake in something like this, as well as do a drive-by in such a noticeable car that he was even publicly gifted so everyone knows who it belongs to, I have no idea. But then again, we never know why a lot of these rappers do half of the things that they do. Now fast forward, law enforcement will even obtain surveillance footage taken from a nearby home, showing the whole incident caught on camera from the time the Mercedes SUV pulled up on the block down to the part where Adams was shot and got back into the vehicle. Now ironic enough, for that case, he was still released on bond, but he would be rearrested yet again on RICO charges in 2021 as well, and have been in jail ever since. Now Lucci was now facing a bunch of charges such as racketeering, violating the state's anti-gang law, felony M, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. In early 2024, prosecutors dropped 12 of the 13 charges against him, including the unaliving and RICO charges, and he would enter a guilty plea of 1 count of violation, Georgia Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Part of the plea deal was Lucci serving a 20-year sentence, 10 years in jail and 10 years on parole, and given credit for the time served. He was also told that he wasn't able to be in contact with any of his co-defendants or anyone connected to criminal street gangs. It's also included that the state wouldn't be able to object or attempt to object with Lucci's parole when he's eligible, whenever that will be. In the midst of everything, Lucci's racketeering charges were also related to the same racketeering charges against Young Thug and his YSL camp. As y'all know, they have a beef that's been going on for quite some time now, where it's been reported that guys have lost their life due to the beef. As per his attorneys, Lucci did not choose to cooperate and will be released early on parole, which they intended for it to be as early as months after he was sentenced in January of 2024. Now, although it wasn't as soon as Lucci would have expected, news have broke today that he actually has been released from prison on parole, as he's been deemed eligible for parole since May of 2024. Now, according to reports, Lucci was released January 30th, 2025, although it would make headlines as pictures would start floating around the internet of him reuniting with his kids the following day on January 31st. Part of his parole conditions involved the 33-year-old having to live with his mother, undergo regular drug testing, avoid gangs and any of his friends that's affiliated with gangs, refrain from gang activity, can't possess any firearms, and must give permission from his PO before leaving the state. Basically the typical conditions everyone get when they come home from doing a bid. Now upon release, the first time social media got a chance to see him was today, after videos would surface all over the internet of him seeing his family for the first time, as he's hopped out of Rolls Royce and greeted them, looking like he was holding back tears. Check this out.
Good way, man. Good way, man.
That boy free.
That's
Got phones in the back, cameras in the front seat.
What you say?
Lucci, yeah. My nose is y'all like
Tell him, Legacy. Look at Legacy. Legacy so crazy.
you need to
Big boy. Big boy. Yeah. Big boy. Yeah. I know that.
look, you ready?
hold that shit back, man. Let that shit out, man. That shit out, bro. Hold that shit.
Now I don't know what this new trend is where guys get out of jail and they record it for the world to see. Back in the day, going to jail just means you got caught. You would try everything in your power for nobody to know that you got caught. But these days, it's glorified by using cars, cameramen, large amounts of money, and sometimes even videos as they debut their first day outs. Now what's also became a trend is these prison sentences where guys are given a bunch of time and somehow released on probation or parole to finish out their sentences. I don't know if that's a new thing, but I personally think it's also a gift and a curse. I'm sure it's a no-brainer for anyone that's going through it because nobody wants to be in jail. So any opportunity you get, you're trying to get out. However, the conditions you have to endure is basically like you're still in prison, and you have to walk a very fine line. You literally can't have any police contact, no matter what it is or what it's for. A Chicago rapper by the name of Tay Savage, who was on parole at the time, was involved in a shootout where a party he was at was shot up. Do you know that he was violated due to the party getting shot up? And that's something that's way out of his control. So imagine someone trying to take your life and you get violated for it and you ain't shoot back or nothing. Now also keep in mind that a lot of these conditions also come with a curfew. It didn't state that YFN Lucci had a certain curfew, but more than likely he would, and that could be tricky as well. So of course most people would love to get out, but being on parole or probation, it's like you're basically still locked up, just not in the cell. And it could be worse than being in the cell sometimes because you have more temptation on the outside to actually do the wrong thing. Now as far as Lucci getting out so early, where he only did 4 years of a 20-year sentence, a lot of people on social media feels like he may have cooperated with them people to get out early on a deal he got. One user would say, quote, 4 years off those charges is insane. However, some people will feel different, as another user would say, quote, everybody was screaming free Thug, nobody said free Lucci. He was a real one. He could testify against Thug and he said no thank you. Now, you know what's crazy with that, y'all? I've seen that a lot all over social media where people say he could have snitched on Thug and he didn't. He needs his flowers. But personally, if you ask me, he don't get no cool points for that. Call me old school, but when you in the streets, you don't get praise for not snitching because that's something you're just not supposed to do, period. How you expect to get praise for something you're not supposed to do in the first place? So I see that going around a lot, but like I said, if you're in the streets, then that's something you know you're not supposed to do, no matter what the circumstance is. And if you feel like that, then just stay out the streets. Now that's pretty much it, man. Y'all jump in the comments and y'all let me know how y'all feel about YFN Lucci getting out, especially doing 4 years on a 20-year sentence. Like I said, some people agree with it. Some people feel he cooperated. Who knows? We just know that a lot of time when rappers get these type of charges, no matter what it is, either it's the money to afford good lawyers or maybe they doing some backdoor stuff. Who knows? Y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.